8 after the hour 6 on the Mighty Metro FM. Touchy's back tomorrow again between 3 and 6 with his entire team. He's coming from Durban tomorrow. Ushaga Marine, my kid's favorite place whenever we're in Durban. When we go home to Durban, it doesn't matter what happens. If you're there for an hour, 2 hours, you have to go via Shaga Marine. So it's going to be exciting seeing and hearing them coming live from there tomorrow. If you're in and around the area, go meet the touchdown team. They're going to be down in Durban. It's 8 after the hour 6 on the Mighty Metro FM. This is Sports that Amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube. Today is an exciting day for me because even when I watch movies, I love a happy ending. I hate movies that end, you know, when you're still asking yourself questions. What happened? How did, what's that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where they spin the thing and then you don't know what happens at the end? You know, like what happened at the end? Like, kwenzekaleni? I like The Lion King. Hambile, usimba bamlanda wabuya, Inception. That's the one. It's Inception. Yeah, it is Inception. So I like good endings, and I think today we're halfway through a good ending. Because a couple of months ago we told a story that broke a family, a story that broke an aunt who loved, her nephew so much. Took him to the airport to begin his big dream of playing football overseas. A father's plea to say, I hope I see my son again before the end of time for me. The son, Thulani Cele, had gone to Georgia on trials to play football. A boy that had been in South Africa had, was climbing the ladder of success as far as football is concerned here in South Africa, goes all the way to Georgia, gets there, and is met with challenges that find him ending up in prison. We traced him down, tracked him down together with the family in Durban as to why he got arrested. The father tried to tell the story. The aunt last saw him at the airport when he said, cheers, good luck, goodbye. The father last spoke to him at the airport when he thought he was coming back before he was arrested. So today, for the first time since being arrested, Thulani Cele comes on. I'm very excited about this interview. Even I have never spoken to Thulani. We covered the story of Tulani. We spoke about Tulani. We made a noise to South Africa's international relations to try and assist us with Tulani. But I even have never spoken to Tulani. So I'll be hearing his voice for the first time today. What is it like to be a young man in your 20s in a foreign prison? Let's take a break. When we come back, I'll update. We'll do a recap first. We'll do a recap of what the story was for those that missed it, and then go into the conversation. It's exactly 12, about to go 13 after the hour 6 on the Mighty Metro FM. Nonhlanhla Shongwe is Thulani Cele's aunt. Thulani Cele is a football player who is still currently in Georgia. What's happened to Thulani since the last time that we spoke to the aunt? But let's perhaps paint a picture first. Thulani was a young man, just out of his teens. He was a gifted footballer. He met Baggio, who was a manager, who said, hey, I can get your team overseas. The family got together, they put together some money and set him off. We had Baggio, the agent, on the show. It was Colin Mashaba was his real name. It was an interview I'll never forget, simply because I've never sat across from someone, had them speak to me, cry even, because he cried while he was here. And I didn't believe a single word that Baggio said. And Baggio was a person I'd known from when we worked together. He was a captain of the Nedbank Cup team. Remember when the Nedbank Cup used to put together a Kia on a team? I didn't believe Baggio. But have a listen to this. This is Baggio now speaking on what had happened. It's Colin Mashawa on what happened.
What happened was Tulani reached out to me because obviously with the work that I do as a scout, he's seen much of some of the boys that have secured professional contracts outside of our borders to go and secure themselves professional contracts in Europe. But Tulani happens to be somebody that I'm very close to, and we have a personal relationship. So it has always been the case where he calls me timer. You know how it is with these boys. So we made prior arrangements personally between the two of us. He sent me his profile, obviously, his YouTube links, and I was able to circulate that with people that I know across Europe. And luckily enough, one of my associates, who happens to be Georgie Shanice, who's an agent from LTD Sports Georgia, he's also the...
Because you're what we call a scout.
I'm a scout, yes. So my responsibility as a scout is just to basically do a connect for the players to give them opportunities abroad. So I reached out to quite a number of people, but Georgie Shanis was the first person to respond in relation to the YouTube link that he saw, the highlights, because at the time Tulani was part of the club that is playing the ABC Mutsepe in KZN. So we made prior arrangements. He was able to secure documents for the boy to attend trials in Georgia.
So that's how they even got into contact together, right? And from that's when he said, okay, I'll send you off. These are the people when you get there. His aunt came on as well, and told us about the last moments of Tulani in Johannesburg when she was saying goodbye to him. When he comes home and he says, hey, I'm going to Georgia.
Listen.
They want me in Georgia. I'm going to go play in Europe.
You know, I mean, we were drawing big names like, you know, maybe this is your breakthrough. I was like, Lalela, I call him Utolish.
Tolish.
Yeah. So like Tolish, Lalela, I said, no, auntie, this is it. Just make sure, Guti, you just don't concentrate on other things, you know. You know what you're there to do, you know, it's just soccer. So just throwing Lionel Messi's and, you know, all these big names, because we really believe that this is his breakthrough, you know. He was so excited, you know, he was so excited.
Were you at the airport when he left?
I was there. It was just me and him. It was me and him. And I remember there was a part where he was crying because, you know, like the process, you know, it was delaying. We got there, his flight was around 6. We got there at 4. 3 o'clock he was awake. He was awake. He woke me up. Like, you have to, like, it's time. So we got there. He was so excited. You know, even like the queues, you have to pass there, go there. He was not hearing none of that. Like, he just wanted to board the plane. So
yeah, he boarded the plane, and the rest is history, as they say. We've got Thulani Cele with us now, all the way from Georgia. Tulani, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to Metro FM.
Thank you very much, Mr. Andile.
Tulani, I can't tell you how excited I am to be speaking to you. Very much like your father, millions of South Africans who listen to this show, we were so worried about you. I was so worried about you. So firstly, I am so glad to hear your voice, Tulani.
Thank you very much, Mr. Andile. It has been a very difficult time for me, my family, and my loved ones, and everybody in South Africa. I can see the love that people have been showing online, supporting me and all that. I just want to say I appreciate everything that you guys have done for me. Thank you very much.
No, listen, you're my younger brother, Tulani. I had no option but to. But that's not even the thing. People are asking themselves, how is it possible that we can speak to you now? We couldn't speak to you back then. You know, we're told you're in prison, you're locked up. So how is it possible that we can now speak?
No, now I've been released from prison. I'm outside. I've regained my freedom. So I was released on Friday. So I told my family on that day that's okay, it's fine now. Since I'm out, they can start like letting people like to know that I'm out, since they were very concerned and asking about me.
Unbelievable. So Friday you were released from prison, you're out. You're outside.
Yes, I'm walking outside. I'm breathing fresh air.
But Tulani, you know, firstly, before we even go to the before prison stuff, you know, and I don't know if you know this, but, you know, Baggio came here, Colin Mashawa, the man that you first made into contact, and, you know, he sat here and cried when I grilled him about how unsatisfied I was with how he dealt with the thing. I want to go into all of that, but before I do, what is life like inside a Georgia prison? If you were to describe life in a Georgia prison for a young Zulu South African man, how is life in prison in Georgia?
It was the most difficult thing I've ever faced in my life. It was very, very difficult. Taking into consideration that I'm a foreigner who only speaks like Zulu and English, okay, of course, and this country, if you can check, it's not like English is not even their third language. So it was really difficult for me to communicate and do all these parts. Luckily enough, I met brothers, some other brothers from Africa too, who were speaking English. So they really helped me a lot in terms of everything that I needed at that time.
And I mean, it's one of my South Africa. What are the conditions in a Georgian prison?
Well, here, first of all, nobody is not allowed like to have a mobile cell phone. Okay, all prison is not allowed. So, and the thing of making like I had some challenges, and the food, like of course, the food is not like South African food and all this. The system is just different, and the thing is, I was in a like what I call this a maximum prison, so I couldn't really get a chance to go and exercise outside and all this for this time all along. I couldn't.
So when did you last kick a ball?
It was the last time when I was still playing for some African was in South Africa. It was March 2022.
Gee whiz, so over a year.
Yes,
Almost 2 years now, yeah, almost 2 years.
Sorry?
Jeez. It is almost 2 years since you last kicked the ball.
Yeah, this was the last time. 2 years since I last kicked the ball.
And how's your fitness right now? I mean, is this something you couldn't work on it? You couldn't run, you couldn't exercise, you couldn't. There's no ball where you could play around. What's your fitness like?
No, tomorrow, as we speak, tomorrow, I just get out with some South African guys here in Georgia. I had a conversation with them. So tomorrow, around 11 o'clock, we are going to train together, just for me to try and catch up with them, all this.
But and I want to go to what you're doing now. There's so many people that listen to the show across the world. You never know what might happen. You know, we've been very fortunate to have very influential people. But before we even go there, I think it's only right that we get the story from you. What happened? How did you end up in prison?
We had an issue at the hotel, okay, to pay the hotel bills. So, at the hotel now, they took my accessories, like first of all, they took my passport. So I missed my return flight tickets to South Africa on the 10th of May actually. And then after what happened is the hotel, because like, but I tried to reach out to him like about the situation because he's the one who brought me here. But he couldn't do anything. He told me that he's running around trying to get the money to pay the hotel and all this, of which it took more than a month. And then what happened was the hotel took my phones, like my belongings, so I couldn't reach out to my family. So after that, because of the language barrier, I met one girl on the street. So I asked her like to help me, like throw me her phone so I can use it to call my family. So the thing is, I was using hand when I could see that she couldn't understand what I was saying. So I was pointing at the phone, but she thought that I was telling her by force that I need her phone and all this. So that was the problem I had. But the police came. The police stopped and asked us what was happening. I said nothing and all this. Okay, and then they took my hotel address. They said they will put me under investigation and all this. So okay, fine, they left me on that day. Because they couldn't speak English too. So they had to find someone who will come and speak English. So when I finally had a chance to pay the hotel some amount and leave the country because like I was devastated, like I was stranded, and I had to come back and help some of the Dynamos to play a ABC Motepe promotional playoffs. So when I was at the airport, they stopped me, like at the border. They stopped me, border check, and then they asked me like, why am I leaving the country? I said because I'm going back to my country. They said no. They said you are under investigation, so you cannot leave the country, and that was the problem that I had. So they took my. First of all, what they did is they took my phone. Not to make sure that I can reach out to anybody. They took my phone that same moment. I couldn't call, even let my family know that there is a situation here. So they took my phone and then they kept me in one other place for 9 days before they transferred me to the maximum prison, of which they said that it was like I tried to use force to take someone's cell phone.
And then you went to court after that.
Yes, I went to court after 3 days because they arrested me on Saturday, 4th of June, and then on Monday, which was 6th of June, I went to court. Then in court, they told me that okay, they will have to detain me since I'm still and I'll be going for this trial for some time until I cannot go anywhere until I leave this. And then they told me that but I cannot be outside too. They need to keep me in prison because I cause risk to abscond. I can leave the car, I can run and leave the country. So they kept me in prison. And then the court process took about 6 months. 5 months actually, 5 months, because on the 16th of November, I was found guilty. So
and the entire time while the court process is ongoing, you are an awaiting trial prisoner.
Yes, in maximum prison.
In maximum prison.
Yes, in maximum prison.
So you're there with killers, with like the worst of the worst in terms of criminals.
The big criminals in the country. People with peaks with 17 years, 18 years, 20 years life sentence.
Talk to me about the moment when they say to you, you're found guilty and they sentence you. You haven't even spoken to your parents. You can't even reach out to them. You are there. You're being spoken to in a language you don't understand, and then the translator tells you, or what you know. This is what they're saying.
Yeah, the translating thing, like there was a very big problem in all my courts due to this language barrier, because they're busy bringing different translators for me, and they brought a lawyer for me, a lawyer that I cannot even talk to. And
so the lawyer couldn't speak English?
No, she cannot speak English. She cannot even say hi in English.
But that's your lawyer representing you. How does she get your side of the story?
I tried to explain to her what happened, but nobody was willing to buy the story. Inside court, she was busy pressing phone on Facebook and all this. She was on Facebook scrolling down, up and down. So I saw that, okay, now I'm in trouble. And when they released me, when they released me on Friday, they did not give me my bags and all my belongings. So now they just gave me yesterday. When I check my bag, there are some other things I'm missing inside, but I don't know.
Bajo's listening right now. What would you like to say to him?
Sorry?
Bajo is listening right now. What do you want to say to him?
No, these things that happen in life, and I have nothing bad against him and all that. I will still try to reach out to him, but for now, I just wanted to talk to my family because it's been a very long time. So once everything, like I've settled down, then I was going to try to reach out to him and then other people too. But I have nothing against him.
Tulani, why are you still in Georgia? If you were released on Friday, surely the first thing you want to do is come and see your father. I know your father is, he wants to see you, your family. Why are you still in Georgia?
The thing is, I explained to them too, because now the season just ended here, but now in 3 weeks' time, a new season will start, and some other teams here, they heard about my case and all this, so some other teams, they want to invite me to try, maybe, and have a look at me, so this is the reason why I'm still here in Georgia.
You want to stay in Georgia and play football?
Yes.
You don't want the fact that you went there to be in vain. You want to finish the reason that you went there in the first place. You want to conclude it. You want to... Tulani.
I know it's not easy, but I need to try. I will try, by all means.
Which point of this entire trip would you say you were at your lowest, where you even thought,
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
At which point during this whole thing did you ever have a low moment? No, it was just the first day I entered the country at the airport. That was the time. Like things started going south. Nothing went right from that moment. Ever since I entered the country. And you don't want to come touch home first. Before but you know what? I think it's courageous of you to make, due of the situation. You're already there. Where are you staying now, though? Because you've just come out of prison. I don't think you have money. Where are you staying now?
Currently, right now, I'm living with one of my friends, but now I'm moving. Like as we speak now, I was about to enter taxi and go to a different place where I will be meeting one of the South African boys who said, okay, no problem, he can help me with accommodation and all this. He said I can come to his house. He will accommodate me because he knows the situation and all that.
Okay, so at least that's taken care of, and then you are in constant communication with the family.
Yes.
Listen, we're just happy that you're free, and I wish you the best in Georgia. If it doesn't work out, I think, come home and try again. I think there's still so much. If my math's still right, Tulani, what is it, 23 now, ne?
Yeah, I'm 24 years.
You're 24 now. Yeah, you just turned 24.
10 months ago.
There's still a huge life ahead of you. Your father as well. I mean, I spoke to him, and we kept contact with your family. I know how they feel. They still got so much hopes and dreams for you. The very best. You've been through the worst that I can think of, but we wish you well. Please let us know how the trials go. If you do find a team, let us know and let's celebrate you together. If not, hey man, home is always there.
Okay, I will do so. I'll make sure that I update you. I'll let you know what is happening.
Tulani, you're a better man than me. At least you've got an amazing story that you'll tell one day. I can't wait to read your book and get all the details of what you went through. But thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much, Mr. And
ladies and gentlemen, that is Thulani Cele. Maximum prison in Georgia because, well, we couldn't communicate well. And if you're a black man, you go to a white woman and you're using your hands, you're violent, the most violent there is. You're a danger to society. Not only should you be put away, you should be put in a maximum prison. Maximum prison, because there's no difference between you and those that have 17 life sentences. You must be in the same space of them. Your crime, you used your hands violently to ask for a phone. No one cared to ask why. I don't know. You can have your thoughts on the situation. 086-000-2160. WhatsApp on 060-552-7303. It's exactly 18:33 on the Mighty Metro FM. What an amazing story. It's one of those that I wish it ends with him finding a Georgian team playing in the highest leagues there and perhaps even coming back home so we see the talent that is Thulani Cele. I mean, for him, 24 years old, spent the last, 2 years in Georgia now, bulk of it in prison, in a maximum prison. In a maximum prison. Because he was chasing a dream. Oh, we were supposed to speak to, the family as well, but the family are Emakaya. After obviously hearing about Tulani, the sister who is normally Joburg based also went home, and the lines there are absolutely horrible, horrendous. Would have loved to hear from Nontlantla Shongwe as well as the rest of the family, Bongani, the father as well. But the lines are really, really bad at the moment, and we can't get to them. We can't get to them. But for those of you that are asking a little bit more detail because you missed the first one, let me play you one more clip perhaps on Colin Mashawa, the man that he calls Baggio, who organized and took him there. And the family still feel hard done by Baggio. But you heard Tulani himself saying, hey, these things happen, I forgive him, and at some point I'll give him a call. This is Colin Mashawa speaking on his version of events. Were you able to pay?
The conversation never escalated where now there was us saying let's pay because at the time when I was still negotiating with the lady to give me some leeway, some time a bit, there was a bit of frustrations obviously with Tulani. The passport was taken away from Tulani.
Not just taken away, he was kicked out of the hotel too.
That one I know for a fact. Yeah, it happened. It was one night that I spoke to him and he was saying he was sitting, but he was not sitting, he was with Masiho.
But at this point, your connection, George, is not picking up the phone anymore.
he was talking to me via text, obviously, but not in a case where he's picking up the phone.
So he's saying, what is he saying? Is he going to help? Is he going to go get the boys?
He was telling me, no, I'm going to go fix the problem. I'm going to go to the hotel and settle the bill at the hotel.
Where are the boys sleeping when they kicked out?
They were sitting at the reception of the hotel.
But where are they sleeping?
I'd be in any position to say they were sleeping outside, because they never said to me they were sleeping outside, because half the time when I was talking to them, they were sitting at the restaurant at the hotel.
So you don't know where they were sleeping? You didn't ask?
Yeah, well, I did ask, but they said no, the lady would agree for them to go back into one room, not the two rooms, because they were staying in two separate
They were staying in the same room?
No. When Maseko joined, Maseko was staying in a different room, and Tulani was staying in a different room. Do we have the invoice for that?
Okay.
Yeah.
So then they're not kicked out of the hotel, then, are they?
Yeah, they were staying at the hotel. They were still at the hotel, but the lady took the passports, saying that until
from the understanding of the family and from them having spoken to him, he was kicked out of the hotel.
Well, Andile, they were outside of the hotel. That one,
but they can't be outside if they're inside.
They were outside of the hotel, but with my conversations, they went back inside and they were at the restaurant.
Okay, maybe let me get it. Let me understand it. What does their outside the hotel mean?
The outside of the hotel was when they were sitting at the parking lot at the time, where I was engaging with.
For how long are they in the parking lot?
It was during the day. It was during the day, and
so one day during the day they're in the parking lot.
Yeah,
and the hotel still keeps them in the hotel every other night.
Yeah, and because we were talking, me and the lady at the hotel, I'll be as honest with you. The lady was, transparent to say, listen, do your best to see to that the fees being taken care of, so that we resolve this matter. The boys can move. Yeah.
Now, where does it get to a point where Masejo's in South Africa and Tulani isn't here?
Tulani was with Masejo. The last time they were together it was on the 1st of June. I didn't know that Masejo made other arrangements, because he never told me that he'll be traveling back, because at the time the passports were at the hotel. So, but he says with what he told me was that he requested for the passport to be given back to, because between the two of them, one must navigate back into SA, but Tulani will be traveling back 2 days after.
So what do you know about Tulani's arrest?
I only got to hear about it when Ugogo sent me a message to say, Mr. Bajo, we have a bit of a situation. Tulani was arrested and was detained on his way back.
So the story goes, Bajo arranges with somebody to meet the boys when they arrive in Georgia and to take them to the trials. That person will accommodate them. They'll pay for their own flights. They arrive, they get put into a hotel, and after a couple of days, the hotel starts asking for money. Those guys are nowhere to be found. The boys have been staying in the hotel, racking up, obviously, bills. The hotel accommodation bill, the food bill. The hotel says, nobody's leaving. Give us your passports and your belongings, because you're not leaving until somebody pays this bill. No one pays the bill, and boom. That's when the story now transpires. At some point, he's kicked out. He's walking around, can't speak the language. His phone is being withheld. He's trying to talk to his family to say, hey, guys, can you send some money so we're able to pay the bill, so that I'm able to leave this country? In that frustration, the hunger, the sleeping outside, he asks for a phone, and boom. Yeah, the phone asking gets him investigated and therefore arrested. Maximum prison, and that was the first time he was speaking on South African radio, telling his side of the story. I don't know how you feel about it. I'm just reading some of your tweets here, and some of you think it's a great story, heroic, a big misunderstanding, and unfortunate. Raymond says, Monty, hey Raymond, I really wish Tulani all the best. I'll sure it'll be a good end to a horror story if he can find a club. I completely agree. Muntu, always enjoy your tweets. What a touching story. But hey, God is great, is what Muntu has got to say there. I'm going to take your calls early today because I'd love to hear from you. But also, we've got a quick interview that we need to do that you could benefit from. But let's take that ad break. When we come back, we'll go straight into it. I see some of your WhatsApp voice notes again. We'll take those on 060-552-7303. Thulani Cele is a free man. On Friday, released from maximum prison. He went to Georgia, a boy. He's going to come back here. A man. It's 1842 in the Mighty Metro FM. I want to get in some of your voice notes and your thoughts. A lot of you, so glad that there's a fruition to the story, like a finalization, like it's come full circle, and we're able to speak about Tulani and speak to Tulani. But let's hear some of your voice notes. I'll take one or two calls maybe before we have to move on at 1855.
Drop us a voice note on 060-552-7303. Waking up, I'm too turned up.
Home first,
Hi, Andile. I'm not even sure this voice note is gonna play, but please, buya ekaya wena, buya. Like, I don't know you, but I just want to talk to you as Usesokomdala from somewhere in SA.
100%.
Come back home.
Yeah, I feel the same.
TS Galaxy or Marumo Galant or something. Just come back home. I know.
Come home, Tulani.
But Andile kunzima bhuti wami, but umfana lo hayi ndiyabona ukuthi hayi uyayazi into ayifunayo, but mina bendibona ukuthi like kungcono ukuthi abuyele apha ekhaya eSouth Africa, akazonyathela nje, athole nje intsikelelo, then after aphindele back eGeorgia.
Evening, Miss Andile. Yes, Pershawn Dusan
Hey,
from
Pershawn.
Dival. Yeah, what they said story, this boy, he was just banged up, bro. Yeah, what a very, very sad story. I hope there's a team that will feel and give him a chance as a footballer. Yeah, I hope and he'll come back and continue with his career. Big up, Joshua.
Good evening, Ma.
Hey.
You speak with Umkiwa in Cape Town. Only one thing I can say about the boy is the positivity. This boy is so strong. He is so positive. He's driven. He know what he wants. I want to say, keep it up, boy. Be strong. Be strong. Everything is going to be great for you. You are strong, Baba. Thank you.
And the Mestro FM listeners,
Hey, boy.
As a parent, I'm so devastated about the Tulani's issue. I will suggest that he comes home, because as blacks, if you're from prison, you need to be sent where they can cleanse you and stuff like that. So if there was money for him to come home, let him come home and do the cleansing ceremony so that he can go there a clean man. Thanks, it's Petros from Pretoria.
Good evening, Andile.
I hear
Holana
you
from
guys, but you
Mamelodi.
gotta commend him, yeah?
It's so painful what happened to Tulani. It's so painful, honestly. So I don't know, Andile, can I ask you, isn't there anything our government can do about this to probably intervene and send a lawyer or someone that side to go and query about this? So, because what happened is so, it's bad, my guy, it's bad. Yes, the boy is out, he's willing to play football, but Andile,
I mean,
is
such
bad.
tenacity from him.
So
Such
we're trying.
bravado.
I'm trying to avoid the same thing in different country. So if I were to go to Spain, where English is not really the main language, and you find out that something like this happens, so it's problematic.
No, I hear you, but we've got to commend the boy first. I mean, he doesn't want to let his dream go. He doesn't want to let his dream go. He says, I want to complete this trip that I've made. I want to fulfill it. I want to be able, I mean, I respect that. I really do. But also, as far as, getting the government involved, we did. It was Metro FM that were able to get the South African Players Union through its president to come here, and and then we got Durko involved, and we tried our best, but it is what it is. I mean, he did get as much as what the government can do, but if another country feels that you committed a crime, just like here, if somebody comes and you feel they committed a crime, you go to prison. You go to prison. Play one more there.
Andile.
Hey.
Makabuye ekhaya ubhuti. Makabuye ekhaya ubhuti ahlukane nento eziningi. Makabuye ekhaya. Good luck, my boy.
All right, let's take some of your calls. Once again, our writing thing is not working. So, Timmy, do you send it to me? Oh, okay, well, there we go. Spongalene.
Yeah,
hey, man, I'm proud of my little brother, Tulani Cele. I'm so proud of him for staying there. I know it's Funabuya, but I'm proud of him for staying there and saying, I'm going to see this thing through.
Even me too, I'm very proud of him. But what he has went through for it, I suggest that the best way for him is to come back home and start afresh his career. Nothing will be lost, He can start afresh here at home and get a new team. He can fulfill his dream of going overseas, maybe in future for it.
But that's letting it go. He's already there.
Hey, but I think he needs to come home and sort out many aspects of his life, like cleansing, as the other listener said. You have to go through a lot of process when you come out from jail. So staying there won't help him,
All right, Nyonga was a boy. Thank you so much. I love the concern and the love that you guys are showing here as big brothers and sisters. Let's go to Sandile. Sandile. Hey, boy.
This one is very difficult. It's because of the guy doesn't ask for money to come back. He wants to play his football.
100%.
And I understand our beliefs and I understand where we come from as a black nation. But at this time, we have a boy who said, let me try my best. When I fail, I will come back. So I think there's a story that is going to come up with. I believe this boy has something that we're gonna talk about in future and say, hey, this man went through hell. If I can put it so, but he came back and be stronger than anyone else. I think he saw his dream. So if ever someone is in front of his dream, it's difficult to think about other stuff. I understand we are black. We believe that he must come back home and do some cleansing. The guy is stepping on his dream. And it's not that easy for him to come back because he already touched.
All right, there's one more call, yeah? Timmy says he wants to go to one voice note quickly and then take a break, and then maybe we'll come back and take a couple of more calls. Go for it.
Hi, good evening. Congratulations to that boy, Tulani Cele, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's very brave for him to stay that side in that situation, and unfortunately, he got arrested for something that, But no, that tells that there's something comes in my mind when I'm thinking about this guy. What about these Bongani Zungus and Kiken Dolis and most of these guys who just go overseas and play, never get to prison, but they were playing, they were earning money, but they just return home. And look at him now, he's saying, no, I'm not coming back. I still want to do trials here. It tells you a lot about this boy. He's got courage. Thanks, Andile. It's Pigelele and Binoni. Thanks, bye.
Thank you so much, Pigelele. I really appreciate that when we'll take some of your calls in just a few. But hey, wouldn't your home just love a fresh new coat of paint? Give it the Dulux promise. Trusted Dulux is a world-class paint that stays beautiful for years. You'll experience its covering power. You'll see its exceptional finish. You'll enjoy its lasting durability. That's the Dulux promise. Durability, coverage, and finish. Get to a store and buy Dulux and win yourself a share of 700,000 rands today. T's and C's apply. With Dulux, you'll love your home. It's exactly 18:52, and remember that what a weekend of football, some scintillating ties to set up an incredible week of sport fixtures coming in thick and fast, which means more chances to win. The action never stops with Betway.
Visit betway.co.za to bet on every unforgettable sporting moment. Get way more with Betway.
Right, let's maybe take more of your voice notes and your calls as well. So many of you really surprised. Utenji Mtembo on Twitter says, "Waze wangi mangas umfana. He just took me to church on forgiveness and being positive in difficult situations. Wishing him all the best and blessings on blessings," is what he says there. Hezi says, "Honestly, I hope he finds a team. The story is heartbreaking. It needs a happy ending." Let's go to caller number 3. Hi. Ooh, that one's gone there. Terribly sorry that to me. Let's take another one. Hi. Hey,
Andile.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm very well, man. How are you?
All right.
I'm not sure who I'm talking to. I'm sorry. My writer thing here is broken.
Yeah, you're speaking to Patrick.
Oh, Patrick, talk to me.
First time on your show.
Hey. Welcome, man. Talk to me.
I'm your regular. I followed the story, from the onset. it's such a heartbreaking story for the 9-year-old boy who loves soccer like nothing. I know. I could relate to why this boy wants to stay in Georgia. But I believe as a corporate citizen, we've got some responsibility to make sure that dreams are achieved. If there's any help, Andile, that we can do to make sure that this boy's dreams are achieved from corporate social responsibility, we would like to come to party to assist wherever we can.
Oh, man, listen.
Because the passion, for a boy of how old is it, 20-something, to say, I want to see and complete the trip and the mission that I came to Georgia for.
Jeez.
We may want him to come back to South Africa, but the boy wants to remain there to fulfill his dreams. How many South African players came back and want to stay there? So, yeah, I think if we can take my number, we can talk offline. We will see wherever we can help.
I will definitely speak to the family. I know they need the help. If they had somebody like you when you were stuck at the hotel, if more South Africans knew of it then, we came in once he was in prison already. He wouldn't have gone to prison. If he could have just settled the young bill, at the hotel, if people were able to help then, he wouldn't have gone to prison. Even now, I'm a bit worried because he's going to go stay with a friend who's going to go stay with a friend. I'm a bit worried. So thank you so much for this. Let's take your number down. We appreciate this.
I'll tell you, we're taking some guys from Cape Town to Italy for soccer trials. So we know the cost, we know what the parents go through, the passion, the parents can't afford this kind of stuff. Please, we're prepared to help wherever we can.
We're taking your number down and we'll follow up on this one. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you calling. That was just something else, wasn't it? That was just something else. The power of Metro FM. Yeah. Let's take a quick break, Malcolm. I need it. Give me one more voice note there, please. And let's see what we can do to get Anonymous back. Timmy seems to think that Anonymous needs to come on. But yeah, so that's the story of THULANI CELE, and I think it's one that we are all invested in now and want to see how it will go from here. I'll keep track of him through his family, and I'm so happy. They're so happy. I know they're listening to this. And Nontlantla, I know you're listening to this alongside with your hubby and the family. It's such a feel-good story. It's a beautiful story. We are now all in with you on it. It's such a great thing. One more, let's hear it.
Hi, Andile.
Hey.
I hope you're well, guys. I'm listening to your show from Mozambique, Maputo.
Hey, welcome.
What
man.
I want to comment about the Tulani, all I can say is that Tulani is a very strong person. Actually, I don't think that most of South African could do what he's doing. He went to jail for about 2 years, and they're still out of jail, and then he continued to try what he was going there for. He's a very strong man, and then I wish more South African could be strong like him. Yeah, so thank you, Nyabong. Gamalam Lawrence Mtumil. Bye-bye.
All the way, Maputo. Thanks so much. I really do appreciate it. And those that want to call and speak to Timmy, he is taking calls right now, so we can take your calls and hear what it is that you've got to say. I think it's important that we get all of you on as much as we can. But we need to change focus a little bit right now and speak to Indira. Indira joins us on the line now. Indira, are you in Durban, I'm assuming, yeah?
No, I'm actually in Joburg.
Hey, welcome, because I know you guys are Durban-based. You have beautiful offices there in Umhlanga. I enjoyed it when I did visit. Indira is a senior soccer sponsorship coordinator out at Hollywoodbets. And we're getting ready for the awards now, yeah?
Yes, definitely. Exciting times ahead for sure.
And this is the second. I knew about last year's awards. They were absolutely amazing. This year again, the league this year was even better because, that race between UWC and Mamelodi Sundowns kept us all on our toes. I can imagine that this year the awards are going to be even better.
Oh, for sure. Like you've spoken about, this year was super exciting. We had teams that really, stepped up to the plate. Really exciting football being played. And I think it just became a lot harder in terms of, getting those finalists out of the nominees for the awards happening this weekend. So, yeah, we're really, really excited.
Any exciting categories that we can look forward to? Any exciting big things? What is it that for those that are going to be watching? I know the SABC and SABC Sports are always so excited to get in bed with Hollywoodbets when it comes to women's sport in particular.
So we pretty much from last year we have the same categories. We've actually added 3 more. So we have the administrator of the season. Sorry, 2 more administrator of the season. Basically, we are also giving back to, or acknowledging rather, the administrators who are behind the scenes who do a lot of work, in the women's football space. And I think it's important that we acknowledge them. And the other exciting one is the fan player of the season. So basically, this is one where we get the fans to vote. We know that fans have been really vocal throughout the season. It's so nice just to see the banter, what they think of games. And at the end of the day, the fans are really what make the league what it is. So if you just head on to the Hollywoodbets Super League socials, you'll see the SMS line that you're supposed to SMS your favorite player that are listed as nominees. And, this is a way for the fans to get involved. So I think that for me is the most exciting one for the evening.
Well, I'm excited. I can't wait for it. Vusiwe Ncube is going to be hosting. I know she's absolutely amazing. One of our great talents here at the SABC. So I'm really excited about it. Indira, I'll definitely be seeing you. I'll be the guy that keeps high-fiving you a lot.
Perfect. Come to me. We'll give you the best seats in the venue.
Thank you so much, Andile. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for being a part of it. The conversation continues on social media. We appreciate you. For myself and my entire team.